We are live. What's up, everybody?
What is going
Ladies
on?
and
Keep coming.
gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, fellas.
Oregon, Katie, Golden Cash, Silver Bull, Slowthorpe, Mr. B, Sirens, Rooster. What's going on? Hello, Mrs. Big Apple Stacker.
Robert Caldwell, Jeff. Sorry, yeah, Jeff Davis. I know it's probably Jeff Davis, Snipey, Mikey, George Campbell, Crazy for Mopar. What's going on? Katie Graham, Flatliners, Slowthorpe. Yeah, Slowthorpe. You said already. Silent Silver. What's going on? I did see Gypsy Stacker in here. He was up here before.
Silver Bull 30, what's up? Siren Silver Stash, hello.
Coin
Kentucky
Crew.
John, what's up? Harmon's in the building. Mr. V Rose.
Hey, Ramno. Hey, Kentucky John. Anna, I'm crazy. Mark B. What's up, buddy? Herman Ortiz.
Starika, long time no see. Good to see you, my friend. Wine Country Stacking, welcome. Cindy, good to see you again. Pizza Guy, hello. SC's in the building.
Well, you know why we're here. We're here to celebrate the life of Texas Joe, and we're going to let everybody kind of filter in, and then we're going to have our friend and our brother Mad Stacker say a little prayer to start us off, and we'll get the ball rolling. But right now, we're just going to welcome everybody for a few.
Yeah, and we're gonna probably just wait for other channels to close down.
Hey, Nash Landings. Joe Mama, Late Night with Bull, Doug Harding, High Coin Crew, Nash Landings, Mrs.
Tina
Big
R, Cal L, Patrick Ekstrom, Mr. V Rose, Chris in the house,
Sacktown Amy, what's up? It's all good. Good to see you. Gina R, Texas Connection, what's up? Silver Clan, Silver Scorpion. Good to see y'all.
What's up, Ike's girl? Did you hear that one?
Say hi to me. I was muted.
Joe Mama Stacks. I love that name.
Joe Mama. That's a good one.
KL, hello.
UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly. I said you ugly.
Hey, so the names
Shroom
that-
Day, hello.
Hey, Shroomers. River
That's kind
Spirit.
of weird.
Cheers.
We got 57 in the house. Let's go. John Howe, welcome.
Mrs. Can Can wants to cheers for Texas Joe.
Cheers. Cheers.
Jet Mech 99, thanks for showing. Jason Gomez, Ice Cream Man, hello. Freaking awesome, what's up? William E, thanks for being here.
Hey, John Howe. Golden Cash.
Golden Cash.
Jet Mac 999. Jason Gomez.
Suzette Free, Darren Gray, hello.
DC raid. Yeah. By the way, Everyday Opportunity is shutting his stream down early tonight just for this. So
Yes, that's
wanted to
awesome.
mention that to
Awesome.
everybody. That's awesome. Shows what kind of guy he is, and also Joe.
Beer drinking
Hey,
Barlet,
Barlet.
hello.
Cheers, Barla.
Follow. Cheers.
Hey, Stuart. Jonathan
Drink
Eason.
Follow.
Susan Leakham. Hi, Gina R. Hi, Silver Scorpion. Hey, Begotten Solicitude Eraser. Thanks for coming. KL, what's up, my
66
man?
People already.
Snipey Mikey, Philip the Board, Coin Sniper Chris. What's up, brothers? Hi, me. Thanks for coming. Flag City Parks. What's up?
Johnny Walker Blue Label.
Hey, Siren Silver Stash. Right
Susan
on,
Lycom, Patriotic Stacker, what's up? Philip the Board.
Big Country.
Super freaking Ground Zero. There's some Papa Smurf on. Hey, FTB. Right on, Silver Clan. Hey, vote for Pedro.
Gypsy Wolves.
Who you talking about, Big Country?
Hey, Gypsy Wolves. Thanks for coming, buddy. Stack Silver, good to see you as well. Looks like we got almost 75 in here. Great show of love for Texas Joe. Thank you all.
It's been a while, little fella. Robert Colwell, welcome to the show.
Fire, Cole.
Vote for Pedro, hello. We got 67 in the house. Any shares of the stream would be much appreciated. The more
I'm
love
all
we can
in.
get in here, the better.
Hey, Brandon Mitchell. Thanks for being here, y'all. Crazy from Opar. Much love and respect. Hey, Slow Thorpe.
Mopar, what's up?
Thanks, Silverbow 30. Just shared it out. I forgot to share it out. I was in a meeting with MLZB. Hey, MLZB, and vote for Pedro for the Wounded Warriors project right before I came over to Plumbers.
I'm over here talking to myself. I had myself muted.
Were you
Thanks for
listening?
the support, Robert, 23-month member. That's got to be my internet, huh? You guys screens keep going out, or is that just on mine?
Mine did, so I went and hardwired in. That's why I turned my camera off for a minute so I could go get hardwired.
What's up,
MLCB, what's up? Papa Smurf, what's up?
It is KL.
That works. So I want to show you guys something quick while people are filtering in. And Texas Joe and I met in person, and we were roommates at a coin show, the PCGS coin show in Las Vegas. And the universe sometimes just speaks to us. And I started going through like a drawer in a
Sorry.
my van.
Okay, yeah.
And all of a sudden I discovered these Smurfs, and my hand to God, it's Texas Joe and Can in Las Vegas.
Those are so cool.
And so it just, Texas Joe, man, you're still with us, and I know it, but man, this just made me giggle in a time that I needed it the most. So this is Texas Joe as a Smurf, and this is Can Collectibles as a Smurf, and this is when we went to the PCGS coin show in Las Vegas. And I remember it was the Venetian and the Palazzo. I couldn't remember the Venetian. That's where the show was. And we were staying in the Palazzo, though, and it's the newer of the two towers. And that's why I ran over when Plumber Stacker was live. We'll get into that story later. That was fun, though. Hey, Mike Kearney. Good to see you. Hey, Bacardi Jim. Welcome, everybody who's just coming in. DTS, great to see you.
Forgot what's going on.
Pedro.
Pedro.
Deep Stacker.
Deep Stacker, what's up?
Dimebag.
No, Joe was not a vet. I think his dad was, or his grandfather.
Joe wasn't, I know for sure, but I'm
Yeah.
not certain on anyone in his family either. I was going to enter him. If he won, I would have sent it to Wounded Warriors in his name. Right on, Ike's girl. Did you all see what KL said? No, I'll go back a sec, on Amy. Let me see
Oh, the
what-
Jurassic Park thing? Yeah, that's good.
Seems like Plumber saw it. I missed it.
Highlight it.
Hey, Jags fan. Good to see you, buddy. I missed you as well. No, I missed it. It's back too far.
Welcome, Jax fan.
Hey, Jay Tizzo. Good to see you. Hi, Tracy Preston.
KK.
Hi, KK. Hi, Cindy.
We've got 80 people in the room. Thank you all for being here.
Hi, Amethyst. Thanks for coming and showing your respects anyways. He affected a lot of people in a really positive way. Hope you enjoy your time and learn
I
some
just
about
now saw KL's comment.
Yeah.
Every time I seen Joe, I was waiting for him to welcome me to Joe.
That is so true. So funny.
With his outfit, with his hat and his like shirt and everything. Yeah. Right on, KL.
All right, guys. I think we've given about 15 minutes for everybody to kind of pile in here. So I think we'll go ahead and kick this off. I just want to start by saying this is not a sad event. This is a celebration because we were lucky enough to get to know Joe. We were lucky enough to be in the same community with him. Some of us, myself, and many of you got to meet him in person. Just amazing spirit. So I'm gonna lead us off with just a little prayer, and then I will let Plumber Stacker kind of take over and coordinate from there. I know there's going to be lots of stories and things like that, and probably open mic and things like that. Ida Herring, welcome. Ida was close with Joe as well. Just good stuff. So, Heavenly Father, just want to open up by saying thank you for your grace. Thank you for your Son and the sacrifice that you made so that we could be forgiven. Heavenly Father, I ask that you let your words be spoken now, not my words, but your words, and let the people that are here be able to hear from you, Heavenly Father. You say wherever two or more are gathered, that you will be there. So we invite you here. We invite the Holy Spirit to join us in this celebration for our friend Joe. Heavenly Father, he had a life well lived, and you say that if we take care of your children, that you will take care of ours. I know Joe left behind a son that I got to meet, and family all around. Heavenly Father, we ask that you were with them in this time. Joe took care of so many people. He was such a giving person that we know that he built up treasures with you in heaven, and that he's there with you now, Heavenly Father. Grieving is for those of us that are left behind, but Joe is no longer grieving. Joe is no longer dealing with back issues. Joe is no longer dealing with the stresses of this world. He has been set free, Heavenly Father. So we ask that you be with us that are still here. We ask that you allow us to reflect on the gifts that you gave us through Joe. We ask that you allow us to continue to treat each other the way that Joe treated everybody he came in contact with, Father. We thank you for just the man that he was and the light that he spread. He was the salt of the earth. And in the Bible, that's exactly what you tell us to be, is the salt, Heavenly Father. And we just thank you for sending Joe to be part of this community. We know that you are with us in this community. There's no other explanation for the things that go on here other than you having your hand directly on this community, Heavenly Father. So we thank you for that. We ask that you keep this community intact. We ask that you keep us just the way that we are, Heavenly Father. The giving and the love in this community is like no other, and we ask that you allow that to continue to take place and continue to grow, not just for Joe's legacy, but for your glory, Father. And I ask that if there's anybody here that is suffering, that is hurting, Heavenly Father, we ask that you allow this to bring them comfort. We ask that you allow this to bring them healing, Heavenly Father. We ask that you put your healing hands over every person in this chat today. We pray over their families, Heavenly Father. We just ask that if there's anybody here that is lost, that needs to know you, Father, that you allow them to let their guard down and reach out to somebody, whether it's me or somebody local, just somebody that can lead them to you, Father, because you are the only way that we can truly have peace on in this world, Father. The peace that comes without understanding, the peace that doesn't make any sense, because in the world that we live in, things are just not okay. And we just thank you for protecting each and every one of us. We thank you for the gift of our brother Texas Joe. We thank you for the gift of every person in this chat, every person in this community that is not able to make it here. We're blessed beyond what we deserve, Father, and that is because of you. And I just ask that you let the Holy Spirit be with us in this room tonight, and we ask that you let Texas Joe's love and light shine through the stories that are told, through the jokes that are made, and through the time that is enjoyed here. Heavenly Father, we just can't thank you enough. We ask all these things in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
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 That was good, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Matt. That was from the heart for sure. I'd like to welcome everybody here. Obviously, everybody knows Big Apple Can and Mad Stacker. We're here just to remember Joe and tell some stories about Joe. It's going to be a fun stream, I think. It's going to be sad as well for a lot of us to say goodbye to Joe. I think this is a proper way to do it. So everybody, anybody, all are welcome to come up and say a few words if they like, tell a story. If you could keep it semi-short, around 5 minutes at the most. I'd like to give everybody a chance that would really want to come up and speak. And again, anybody's welcome. So if one of you guys on the panel want to start, and then I will post the link in the chat for people to come up. I'm just going to have people one at a time.
Yeah, so I got to meet Joe 2 different times at the Tyler Coyne show. The first year we actually, as a group, all went out because we were all attendees the first year. But the second year, Ida and I got table space together. So we were kind of stuck there and couldn't leave. But he came with his son, and they just kind of hung out with us at the table. But the year before, we actually got to go out to lunch and just have great conversation and cut up. And you know, I don't get to get my wife to too many of these things with me. You know, I usually, when I can talk her into coming to something with me, it's always, you know, a blessing. But you know, she was sitting right next to Texas Joe at the table, and you know, they were having some great conversations. And when I told my wife, usually when I reference somebody in the community, even if it's somebody that she's met, I have to explain to her who it is, because you know, she's disconnected from all this, so she doesn't remember everybody's name and who's who and all this. But the minute I told her Texas Joe, she described him to a T, because he had made an impression on her. And I think it's safe to say that he's made an impression on most of us in some form or fashion. If you have ever seen him on panel or got to talk to him in chat, I mean, his numismatic knowledge was through the roof, for one, so that makes him cooler than all of us already. But just to be such a great person on top of it, it was a pleasure to get to hang out with him and a pleasure to get to know him. And I'm honored to be able to be here and share.
It was a beautiful prayer. Thank you, Matt. Honest to God, like that, it was something that I think we all just embraced, and I know that Joe's with us, and I know that there is some real Holy Spirit that is with us, that is watching over us, and definitely, and I really resonated with what you said about watching over all of us in the community, and there's no other explanation for it, you know, because when you see all the regifting, when you see all the compassion, and yes, there are, you know, things that have happened, and they've galvanized the the core of
Absolutely.
us that much closer together, because we just kind of, you know, the cream will always rise to the top, as they say, and these things are there for a reason, these cliches, because there's a lot of truth in them. But Joe was not about cliches. Joe was about being a direct and a kind person. And Joe was born in 1965 in the Bronx, in New York. And he and I have a connection with the East Coast. And although he's known as Texas Joe, he was a New Yorker, and he went down to Texas to play football in college, and he stayed and found the love of his life, Dana, who was his wife, and settled and raised a family in Texas. And but when we went to the coin show in Las Vegas, and we were roommates, basically he just invited me. He said, well, I'll tell you how I met him first, and I know there are a lot of people who don't know the whole story, so I'll try to quick thumbnail it. But Texas Joe came into the coin community by basically saying in a big live stream in a channel that I don't really associate with anymore, and I was a moderator at that channel, and he came in and he said hi, and he went by just Joe H at that time. Joe H was his handle, and he had a green icon, and he said, I just hi everyone, I just inherited this coin collection from my grandfather, and I don't really know anything about it, and I'd like some help if anybody's willing to. And nobody answered him in the chat, and
Wow.
I was like, hi Joe, I'm Can, and I'll be glad to help you. Here's my email, and sent him my email, and we started corresponding. And come to find out, there were a few similarities that we didn't realize, and he's from New York. I'm from upstate New York. We both kind of have a similar upbringing and kind of mindset, and it just became clear really early on that he and I were going to be friends, and became quick friends. He did so much for me behind the scenes that nobody really knows about, and I'm just starting to let on about. But he would always say to me, if I didn't watch your stream live, I would watch it the next day, and I'd listen to it like it was a podcast. And he said, I just enjoyed listening to it. I really enjoyed just kind of, I'm fooling around doing. He was retired. He was an extremely successful businessman. So he was retired. He was tinkering around with whatever he was doing. But he was like, I'd listen to your live stream. And these were like 7-8 hours long in that time. Honest to God, because I would just get a wild hair, and I would just live stream for hours and hours and hours on end, and he would watch the whole damn thing, and he'd say, I'd give you your stream time or your watch time, but I really enjoyed it. Then when I started doing auctions, he would do all these things behind the scenes that I had no idea. He would contact me with emails or with text messages. Hey, I did the analytics, and I ran who else was on at the same time as you, and your peak hours and your peak viewers and this and that, and he's telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, Joe, slow down. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even look at that part on my YouTube page. Like, I don't. And I said, it was
Yeah.
like, but the bottom line was, he was like excited. And he's like, I believe in you. Just whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Just, you have support. You have people that believe in you. Just keep doing it. And, in the green room before we came on, Big Apple and I were talking about stuff, and he was really encouraging to Big Apple, and I know he shared some stories with me about that, and I know with so many other people, and Plumber and I were talking too, and it's like, that's what we're really looking forward to, is hearing everyone else's stories. So I'm going to condense mine even further now, so that others can share. But we just became really tight, and he did so much for me. He would source coins for me in Texas. He would go places and find me these incredible coins, and just send them to me so that I could use them for my auctions. And he really, really helped me to grow, and to be a somewhat successful channel, if you will. And it was because he believed in me, and it's because he did it like unsolicitedly, and he just believed in me and wanted to help me and mentor me. And he mentored me in a lot of ways, and I know that I helped him in a lot of ways, and it was reciprocal. But he really did mentor me. He helped me do my taxes the first time that I had this new lifestyle on what the hell this 1099K and what do I, and he sat with me for over an hour on so I could do it through TurboTax. And just helped me. And then when he went to the coin show in Las Vegas, he was like, look, Can, I'm going anyways. I'm getting a room. Do you want to come out and meet me and hang out and you know, live it up for a while? And I was like, sure. He's like, I got two beds anyways, you know, one's going to get wasted. You may as well just come. And I was like, all right. So I did. And we had the best time. And Plumber has a part in this too, because I was down at the pool one day and I get a notification on my phone and I see Plumber Stackers live with Texas Joe in Las Vegas at the coin show. And I'm like, hey, they're live. And I run, I get my clothes on, I run up and I run to the other thing up to the conference room or wherever it was. And I was able to catch them for the very end and at least say hi to them and, you know, get on and, you know, make an appearance. But it was fun, and he was showing Plumber around, and it wasn't a big show or whatever. But you know, he also was you know, getting a bunch of coins graded that were just really, really sweet coins. That, of course, he was a Morgan guy, and I know there's a lot of Morgan people in the chat and on the panel. But we broke bread like Mad was saying, and we you know, when you really are with somebody and you break bread with them and you know, have times where you just, you know, and you know, it was kind of like we were back in college, and he's on one bed and I'm on the other, and we're just like talking about the stupidest stuff at like late at night, and then it's kind of like you fall asleep and you wake up and you go to the coin show and start over again. And I do remember though, when we said goodbye at the Las Vegas airport, we gave each other a hug, and it was kind of like it wasn't enough, and we gave each other a proper, like, and it was just a real firm hug where it was like one you'd give your dad or one you'd give your brother or somebody in your family that you haven't like seen or that you just really care about. And man, I thought I'd get another one, and we were supposed to go to the Grove, Oklahoma show and be roomies again, and you know, it's not going to happen, but we were both looking forward to getting away and just kind of having that, you know, kind of fun again of being roommates and just letting go of the stress that has followed us to the show and just be there in the moment. And I think that's what I want to remember most about Joe, is that when we were there and hanging out together, we were totally just in the moment. And I think that's what I want to share with everybody, is to like live in the moment and to just, this is all we have. And there's a to just end this thought and move on to somebody else. And thank you for listening. There's a quote that says, and if you're anxious, you're living in the future, and if you're depressed, you're living at the past, and if you're at peace, you're living in the moment. And it's a good reminder. So Texas Joe, thank you for reminding me that, and just rest in peace, my man. I know that we'll be with you again. I know you're looking down on us.
We have anybody in the basement, Plumber?
Apple, Big Apple, you're muted.
No, you're not.
No?
Okay.
You can hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is anybody in the basement?
No, not yet. Go ahead.
Okay. You want to go? Well, let me go. Let me read something that one of the people in the community sent to me. And I'm just going to show you guys a clip video. This is actually from Patrick Ekstrom. He says, "Hey, Big Apple, I just wanted to just share this message with you." Why do you got to blow me up like that? You didn't know anything.
You're going to show a video.
No, wait, you blow me up. You don't need to blow me up. Put me back. Come on, man. The hell you blowing me up for? Don't blow me up.
You're going to show a video.
I'm not going to show that. I'll show the video. Already, here we go. This guy. It's unbelievable. I'm going to read something first. All right. I bought my first pre-33 from Texas Joe. He sent me a little personal message. We continue with a few emails after. I told him about my son. He's a little stacker, also loves 90% constitutional silver. Joe went out of his way and sent my son a bunch of proofs sets and a 1932S quarter. He was super excited. Joe's going to be missed. when you three guys hooked up, Plumber at Plumber's auction, I always said we're gonna get the band back together. So Joe would always laugh, and he had such a that amount of knowledge of coins. He's going to be missed. Glad to have the chance to speak with him. Then he sent them a letter. So let me just send it to you a second.
And that's the thing about Joe, honestly, is he became such a numismatist. Mad touched on it. Big Apple's talking about it, and Plumber knew it, and I know it. But he immersed himself. He learned so much in such a short amount of time since pandemic.
It's amazing, yeah.
Since pandemic, and he became like pretty much an expert, I think, on Morgans for sure.
You can pull that up, Plumber.
Immersed himself into it. Hey,
So he
vacation.
sent them that, and then if you could read that, I don't know. Somebody could read that, please. Just says thank
Patrick,
you.
thank you for your something support and friendship. Enjoy your first. You broke your cherry. Ha 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 ha. Texas Joe. Thank you for your support and friendship. Yeah. By the way,
Thank you for that, and let me just send you this video. We could just,
right on.
why is it asking me to download? I don't. Maybe I have to download it. No, I just want to open it.
We're getting the band back together.
Texas Joe.
Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. You know what? Let me just give me a minute.
Can you send the video to me?
Yeah, I could just download it. It should say Beaver to download. Shit. I don't know. I had it.
Yeah, the Kookaburra story is world famous. They dive bombing me. Well, did he get you? Yeah, he got me.
All right. Hold on. I could get it now. Oh, there we go.
Texas Joe, this is what he got. That's pretty cool, huh?
Oh my god, I love it.
That's awesome.
All right. Give me one second. Hold on. There's one more. Sorry. This is let me just show you the other one. This is the one.
I think there's a massive lag.
What from? Oh,
No, you're
Well,
fine.
another one.
This was from Patrick Ekstrom.
wait,
Yeah,
hold
this
on.
was-
Wait, hold on.
That was very heartwarming.
That's not what I want. Why does it tell me to download it when it didn't do that before?
Another one.
We can hear the.
Another one.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna send it now. Give me a second. Share video. Sorry, guys. Why did it ask me all of a sudden to have to do that? Here we go. Get out of here. There we go.
Another one.
You can pull that up from the bottom.
Hey, South GA Stacker.
You
Well,
pull it?
Another one.
There you go.
Oh, it was a quarter. From 1932. Oh, you thought for I said. It's called fate.
That's a key date.
Yeah.
Thank you. I needed this before you said. Thank you. Where is it? Right?
You have to check up on him, huh?
Thank you, Texas Joe.
Wow.
Oh man.
That's so cool, isn't it?
And there goes the ripple. The ripple goes a little bit further into the
Yeah.
middle of the ocean. You know. It's
Yeah.
just,
I mean, that gesture changed that young man
oh yeah.
forever.
Nuts. It's palpable. I mean, we all feel it just watching that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's like joke to a T. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna step down and give room for other people. I'll be watching. Just want to, for the 90 plus people in here that showed up to support Texas Joe, just want to send love to each and every one of you and blessings to each and every one of you. Plumber, I'm honored that you asked me to just be a part of this, and love everybody out there in the community, and I'll see you all soon.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate
Love
it.
you guys.
Great program.
A great job, man. So
All right, we got Ida in the basement. We're gonna bring her up now.
okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
You
Ida.
guys are awesome for
Hi, Ida.
It's just wonderful. I really, really think it's great. I don't know if I can do this or not. I knew Joe quite well. He's a good friend, very nice guy. He would give you the shirt off his back and smile while he's doing it. But anyway, he sat beside me when we were at the Going Show in Tyler, and in fact, he brought my dinner that night, and I told him I owed him, and I would, reciprocate as soon as I could. But anyway, Joe's a great guy, and my dad passed away in 2006, and he wrote a poem, and if it's with your permission, I'd like to read that poem because it reminds me of Joe. Is that okay with you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. He called it the Eternal Bouquet. While gathering flowers from our garden of blooms, we don't choose the tattered and torn. Only the finest in each of its kind do we place in our home to adorn. Then why would we think that the Lord up above has less judgment than humans desire in choosing the flowers for that eternal bouquet to adorn his heavenly choir? Not the age of the flower nor the color outside helps the Lord in making his choice, but the things deep within, the deep of the soul, the things that have made heaven rejoice. We may think at times that these things are harsh and maybe a little unfair, but we will rejoice when harvest comes and we're there in that bouquet up there. And that was from my dad wrote that. Anyway, I just wanted to share it because I thought it was very appropriate because we all love Joe.
Absolutely. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Ida. That was
Thank you, Ida.
deeply personal too, and I know sharing of yourself and times when others need it, and we're all going to get through this together, and that's the bottom line. And
Oh yeah, we have to. Joe would want us to.
I get it, but to share something that is from your family, and that was beautiful, Ida. Thank you for making the connection too with Joe, and I think it's a beautiful way to honor him.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be listening in. I can't stay up here. Anyway, I love you
Thanks
guys.
for sharing, Ida. That was
Thank you, Ida.
Love you back.
Like,
Big hugs.
anybody and everybody are welcome to come up here and share stories like that. I know there's a lot more out there, so you don't have to show your face. You can,
Yeah.
You keep that down however you want to share. It's
Plumber, is anybody in the bottom?
no.
No.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
No. You can go. I'm gonna let you go first. So anybody that wants to come up, please feel free to come up. If you do need to use a face or something to hide yourself, I will lend you this one right here. Like I told everybody, please.
Mine's way better.
He's got a
Way
rotten
better.
apple down bottom, whatever you
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Just want to let you know you can use this guy. I'll send it to you. Just let me know if you need it. Anyone and everyone is welcome to come up. It just doesn't matter. Just come on up. Go ahead, KK.
All right, well, I'm going to dedicate this one to Texas Joe, and it just kind of exemplifies him as a man, and just kind of what he's done by bringing us all together. Fall is here, hear the yell, we're back to school and ring the bell. Brand new shoes, walking blues, climb the fence, books and pens. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Walk with me, Susie Lee, through the park and by the tree. We will rest upon the ground and look at all the bugs we found. Safely walk to school without a sound. We'll safely walk to school without a sound. Well, here we are, no one else. We walk to school all by ourselves, dazzled on our uniforms from chasing all the handsome homes. We clean up and now it's time to learn. We clean up and now it's time to learn. Numbers, letters, learn to spell, nouns and books and show and tell. Playtime, we'll throw the ball, then back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks our height against the wall. Teacher marks our height against the wall. We don't notice any time pass. We don't notice anything. We sit side by side in every class. Teacher thinks that I sound funny, but she loves the way you sing. Tonight I'll dream while I'm in bed, when silly thoughts run through my head about the bugs and alphabet. And when I wake tomorrow, I'll bet you and I will walk together again. 'Cause I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Beautiful, as always, Can.
Thanks. Cheers. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's a link again. So again, you're all welcome. Come on up, share a story. I will share the story when I first met Joe. It was in Patriot Stackers. I want to say it was the Premier chain, but I could be wrong about that. And we were talking about, obviously, I think it was, I don't know if the stream was about Morgans, but in the chat we were talking about Morgans. And of course, somebody starts talking about that, I'm going to chime in no matter what. And Joe started telling me about a couple coins that he had, just a couple. And we started chatting in the chat, and then he got my email. We started emailing back and forth. And it turns out he has quite a bit of coins, and heck of a lot of Morgans. And ever since then, we clicked like right then and there. We started talking. We eventually exchanged phone numbers, so we started talking there, and we would chat quite often. As you all know, that Joe's a big part of my auctions, just like Big Apple is. It's going to be really hard not to have him here no more. But he did, like Can was saying, he never gloated about anything. He had a lot of stuff. He was a good man, and he was always willing to help me out. He'd help me out with my auctions. And then from there, Joe's a very successful guy and a very knowledgeable guy. So he started to help me out with my business. And then, that turned into helping me out with my personal life as well. He would always listen to anything I had to say, even if he thought it was stupid or didn't really know what I was talking about. He'd let you get it out, and then he'd give you your opinion with, no judgment. no judgment whatsoever. And he was just a great all around guy. I mean, I've got many stories to tell, but I guess you just meeting him, that honestly changed my life in a way, because you don't meet people like that all the time, especially somebody that's always willing to help you out. And y'all know we had a blast on the auctions. This Fugazi right here, always joking around in the streams, and we all had great times. We all clicked really quick. It's gonna be tough without him.
He was in my life when my mom was taking chemo and was ready to give up. Look at the timestamp. Yeah. I'm
going to share a couple of stories. Mine are a little bit more funnier, so it's going to, don't mind me. It's just that's just what I'm going to do. So, when I met Texas Joe, obviously, met him over the phone talking, and we were talking about Morgans, because I knew that he was a Morgan lover. He used to send them out, especially to Annex, and then he would cross them over to PCGS, because he loved PCGS. And I was like, that guy Plumber, he sells his Morgans, and but I think he sells fake Morgans. I'm not that sure, but other than that, Texas Joe and I, we were just talking, and then I got to find out that he was from New York and who's from the Bronx, and I'm like, well, Joe, I work in the Bronx, and so we were just always talking about a lot of things, especially even one of the things which was a lot of inspiring, on my weight loss. He was like, Big Apple, you could do it, and the last thing he was talking about was the thing that people are now doing for obesity, is that people are actually using the little shot for diabetic. If you're diabetic, you stick it into your stomach, and for some reason you're losing weight. And I said, Joe, how can I get that? What am I going to do? Run to the drug dealer down in the Bronx over there? I mean, that guy doesn't have that. I don't think he does. So Joe is like, no, you got to get it. So I'm like, I don't know if my doctor's going to subscribe something like that. But anyway, Texas Joe was really inspiring, on the fact of me losing weight. And he was always there. Every time I picked up the phone, he was like, yeah, how you doing? That was like the first thing. How you doing with your weight loss? I'm like, Joe, I lost this, I lost that. And he was just, before we even spoke about coins, before we spoke about anything else, the first thing was out of his mouth was, how's your weight? How's your health? How's everything else? And I'm like, Joe, it's, health-wise, as me being, as heavy as I am, I don't really actually have symptoms, which, some people are like really surprised, like, oh, well, you don't have no high blood pressure, no, nothing. And, I was telling Joe, I, literally nothing. And he was like, well, that's good. And the only thing is I'm just heavy, and I got to, it's just that eating part. And he's like, you can do it. But he was great on that. He was great. And a lot of times then we started hooking up with, obviously it was with Plumber on Saturday nights. And that was like the best time, for me, when a lot of the streams that I've gone in, and a lot of people know that I do go to a lot of streams and I hang out with, other people, other, communities. But one thing about being with like Plumber and Texas Joe, it was always like, going back to the 70s, because I never could forget telling Texas Joe, while Plumber's selling his stuff, Texas Joe, I remember Wonder Woman. He goes, oh yeah, Linda Carter. Oh man, I'm like, yeah, she was. And we were just talking about and this guy here is selling coins. So we were just like, there you go. We were talking about Linda Carter, and it was amazing. Then we started talking about the old while Plumber was just selling. He goes, and Plumber comes out. So, guys, you know I'm doing an auction here. We're like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're talking about the 70s here. We're going back. But like Texas Joe had that character in him. Like, you know, I know sometimes he might have come off maybe strong, but you got to know Joe. Like, he was funny, man. He was funny, especially when he did like the Russian impression, and the that was like the most funniest shit. And I would just laugh, and it's like you laugh, and from we were there. We're like, Plumber, what year was that? And like Texas Joe would be, Big Apple, pay attention. I'm like, Joe, but I didn't hear him. I couldn't pay attention. He didn't say it. I know you didn't say it, but it was just so much fun being on that Saturday stream, man. It was great. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, Texas Joe, like I said, Texas Joe was fun, and he was just really, knowledgeable. And I bought coins from Texas Joe. So I bought like some older pennies that I have, and I told Joe, I said, yeah, Joe, I got to fill up my old pennies from my dance code, the half buzz, half dimes. I forgot the ones that he bought. He says, you can use this as a book filler. I said, yeah. I said, you know what, Joe, give it to me. I'll buy it from you, and I'll change it. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not changing it. As ugly as that penny is, it's staying in that book now. I'm not changing it. It's something that I got from Texas Joe. I got a couple of things from Texas Joe, which I won't share, but I got stuff. So that won't change. And then I got help me get a lot of this stuff there. But like, even like the two of the pennies, it was like I think it was like an 1830 something. And, he was like, yeah, Big Apple, just, I need, one thing it was, he didn't really hit you over the head with the price. So he was good. I see, sorry, but I'm trying to look at the chat.
You're fine. You're fine.
I see people, I can't respond to anybody in the chat. Like, I'm just, trying, but sorry, guys. Anyway, but yeah, I won't get rid of any of those. I don't care whether I was planning to change it out. It's just not going to change out. It's going to stay there. Texas Joe gave it to me. I mean, whether he sold it to me, I got it from him. It's staying in that book now. It's not coming out. So, but that's what I got to say.
Good night, International Stacker. Take care. Thanks for stopping in.
Amethyst, how are you? Meat Coins, how are you?
Happy story. I love a happy story. Right on, Jet Mac.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story about when we were in, and this is, Texas Joe was a real, you guys would bust each other's balls up here, on each other's stream because, obviously you got two New Yorkers and then you got the rookie down here at the bottom. And then, but he didn't he was a gentle man for the most part. And he was very respectful. And so when we were in Vegas, we had just gotten, I don't know, stuff had just started to kind of get normal again after the thing that happened in 2020. And so we were staying in a nice place. We were staying at the Venetian / Palazzo, and it's a nice place. And the service was so piss poor that by the second night, Joe was he had had enough, and I'd been winning, and we both had money to spend, and we wanted to have a nice meal. It was our last night there, and we just wanted to have a nice, treat ourselves to just some really bougie shit, right? Pardon my French. And we bougie married. Okay, is that better? And so we try to get seated in this one restaurant, and they basically weren't having it. It wasn't that close to closing, and it was basically they were just. And so then we go to this other place in our hotel, in our own place that we're staying under that same roof. They won't seat us either, and Joe just he kind of lost it in a little bit. But as much as you started to see the New Yorker come out of him, what do you mean? I want to talk to the general manager. And he starts to get you just see the blood boiling, and you see that kind of New Yorker come out of him, and I'm just all right, let's I'm just kind of
Oh, Silverstruck.
I kind of like waited and like looked back and just Silverstruck, man, that was dope. $50.
Wow,
Rest in peace,
$50,
Texas
man.
Joe.
Thank you.
That's rad.
Silverstruck, how are you, buddy?
Use that to
And he just had this
something
like
good.
this still he was so respectful, I guess, as pissed off as he was. He wasn't trying to like make the general manager cry or anything, but he wanted to like, you know, get a point across that your service really sucks, and I'm not, you know, I'm not really taking it anymore. Like, what are you willing to do about it? And they didn't do anything about it, but Joe felt better and he got it out of his system, and we had a laugh about it. But it was funny because as much as you knew he wanted to just like lambast the guy, you know, he still was somewhat respectful in his
Yeah. And he still get his point across.
his fervent I don't know assurance of that, you know, intervention, whatever. He was just funny, man, and honest to God, it was so hot that he was just like, I don't want to really hang outside. Let's just like, you know, and I was like, I don't care, like, because we were gonna go. There were places that we were gonna go, and then and what I wanted to say too, one of the stories that I wanted to say is MRG 22 came and met us for a beer, and I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys ever heard that story or not, but I have the picture, but I don't have MRG's permission. And he doesn't want me to show the picture, but the picture that I took of Joe and I, it actually, Joe took the selfie, and it's of MRG and him and I, but basically I had to, you know, crop out MRG 22, but that was fun because he came out and just kind of like chilled with us and had a couple beers and kind of told us about what he does. And this is the picture right here where Joe took it. And MRG I'm in the middle, so MRG is not, you know, seen right there. But it's Joe took the picture, then myself. We're wearing our little PCGS badges because it was one of the days, obviously, of the show. The other thing, actually, while you have me live, Plumber, and some people don't know this, and this was one of the reasons why, like, how Joe and I actually became good friends. He was one of the first persons to send me a picture of what they look like. And I thought that was really cool of him to do that, because everybody sees what I look like, but I don't know what other people look like in the chat. So he sent me that, which was, trust me, as a person who does, you know, stuff on YouTube, it's good. It's plus points when somebody, you know, sends you their picture, because it's a little bit unsettling. One more picture though, actually.
Yeah.
One time we were hanging out, and Texas Joe sent me a text, and he sends me this picture, and he's like, "Hey, who does this is my grandfather on his wedding day. Who does this remind you of?" All right, so here's the picture, and then this is the trippiest thing of all. He's like, "Who does this remind you of?" And I look at it for a little while, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, you know. I don't know, me, you know, and I write me ? And he's like, yeah, you look like and you resemble my grandfather. And he put it together. There's Texas Joe right there. This is 4 generations of the Texas Joe family. There's the grandfather holding I think it's the daughter, or I think it's the son. I'm not exactly sure, but there's Texas Joe's father. There's Texas Joe's child, and there's Texas Joe's grandfather, whom I resemble and look like, and there's Texas Joe as a young man.
That's neat.
So when we call each other family sometimes in the streams, I know that we mean it, and I know that it really does feel that way, and we share some incredible things with each other. And honest to God, you know, when Texas Joe brought that to my attention, and that was early on, that was before we went to Vegas or anything, and then when we were in Vegas, and I just told this story for the first time to Plumber and to Big Apple when we were backstage before we came on, and I forgot to say it on my stream Thursday, was that when I was in Vegas with Texas Joe, he made it a point, when I was talking to my parents on the phone one night before we went to bed, he made it a point to talk to my parents and say to them, look, you know, you did great, or, you know, whatever. It's a pleasure meeting you. He was so incredible. And it wasn't like Eddie Haskell or whatever, if you know what I mean, from like Leave It to Beaver. He was really sincere in just saying that, like, it's a pleasure knowing your son, and he's, you know, and just to hear that from a good friend, like, really means a lot. And he went out of his way to say that, and just, it just tells you kind of the guy that he is. He just, I don't know, he had this like incredible magnetism to people, and they were drawn to him, and he had this like light around him.
For sure. That's funny too. Can he did the same exact thing with me. Sent a picture to kind of like break the ice on that, because you know how, you know, a lot of us are 100% secretive, but you know, some of us like to hide parts of our life that we don't want it all out there in public. So that's exactly what he did. And then he sent me a picture of him and his wife when they got married. And
then, you know, in the chat, right, when you see them in the chat now, Plumber, what they look like, and you have this, and it makes it easier for a content producer. It really does, when people give their picture, because then you can, I know what Nick's looks like, I know what John Jacobs looks like, you know, I know what Ringmaster Ray looks like, you know, and Mr. V Rose, and when you have that, it just makes it that much, it galvanizes it, or it makes it that much more real. And because it's hard to kind of come up here and you know, put yourself out there in general, but over and over again, especially.
Yeah.
And people that send pictures and do that, like, on their part, it really means a lot.
It's funny too, that because, like, not to knock anybody that does videos this way, you know, it's just something Joe said. He's like, well, eventually you get tired of staring at people's hands all the time and you want to see what they actually look like. So
I know.
I just thought that was hilarious when he said that. But I understand why people do it, you know. 100%. I have total respect for that. It was just funny. And I think it was Patriot Stacker. He said he has the most animated hands on YouTube. He's always doing those videos. You know.
I hope I do, Tracy. That would be great if people, and I hope you're one of them, Tracy Preston, because honest to God, you know, it makes it that much nicer to see. You know, I know what Gypsy Wolves looks like. You know, I don't know what Silver Wolverine looks like. I thought he was going to do a face reveal sometime. They're talking about that, I think, at some point. And you know, like Plumber said, I get it, you know, to some extent, but I just
we got Muscle Shell in the basement. We're gonna bring him up.
I know what Muscle Shell looks like. I've met him a couple times. Yeah. Let's hear from our brother Shell.
All right, as PG as possible, Muscle Shell.
I'll do my best.
Hi, Muscle Shell.
How you doing, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, Muscle Shell?
Good to see you, Mom. Can you know what I look like? I know you. So I'll tell you a story about Joe. And you guys don't know these stories because I keep everything quiet. I talk with Joe too. Can you guys hear me? Yes or no?
We can hear you.
Okay. So I called Joe one day. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I'm going to be PG as best I can. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I called Joe and I said, hey, Joe, I need some help. I don't have any internet here. I'm in the coin shop. I'm like, damn it. I can only get cell phone. He goes, well, let me call you back in about 5 minutes. Which ones you got? 1881, 1882, 1883, 1884, all MS-65 GCS Morgans. But I didn't know the price at the moment. And I called him out of the spur of the moment. He said, well, let me get back to you in about 15. I'm like, well, I'm going to the bank to grab some money. He goes, well, when I get back, Joe gives me the prices of what it should be. It worked out. That's the type of person Joe was. You asked him for a little help, he'd give you a little help. And I was literally in the middle of nowhere. But they had them in the shop, so I bought them. That's the type of person Joe was. If you asked him for some help, he'd give you some help. He'd be honest. He was truthful. And he made you laugh, too. And I told Joe one day, that if I'd known you 30 years earlier, well, we'd all be rich. Because I know Joe made some money. He was well-to-do. But he always wanted to help everyone else do it. And that's a true story. I know exactly where it was. And I've asked Joe some other things, and I know some things, and I won't go into those, but he's helped a lot of people in the YouTube community over time. And he always went and did his research, which I always loved. And I never come up. I only hang out with a couple of people, but Texas Joe, behind the scenes, did more than most people know. So that's my story. And Plumber, I never come up on your channel. So I'll tell you another story about Texas Joe.
Yeah. I actually remember that story, Muscle Show. You were, it's when you got all those GSAs.
Yes, I
didn't know whether or not to spring for it or not. And yep, I remember that. That's the kind of guy Joe was, for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look up the facts on it at the moment. I couldn't look it up. That's true.
Yep. Did you ever sell those?
Hell no. I'll tell you another story.
Go ahead.
And it involves you, Plumber.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. You're the first one that instigated Texas Joe to ever sell anything.
That's true.
And I know who owns it.
Oh, you got it, huh? Oh, yeah.
You remember that? Of course I was going to buy it from him. He was a great guy. Always helpful to everyone. And I know more stories. And it sounds like someone else I know. Hey, Philip, I don't know about that. So, yeah, you were the first one that did it. Sorry, I'm squirting tears here. I really like Texas Joe. He was a good friend to many of us. Everyone said, all right, I'm back. And I didn't say any bad words yet. So we're good. As soon as I do, I'm going to cancel out. All right, I got another story for the Texas Joe. Remember when he sold his house in Bermuda? Did I say Bermuda? Bermuda. He said, well, we only go there for 2 weeks out of the year. Why do I own a house there? Bermuda. Sorry, I said Bermuda, but it's Bermuda. And he goes, I just sold the house there. Why the hell do I need it? I don't need that house. Me and the wife only go there two weeks out of the year. So he sold it. I was like, well, that makes sense. Texas Joe had a good, he did some really great things.
I remember that. What do you remember? What coin you got from him from that auction? So I remember that auction too, because it took a little convincing. I mean, it took a few auctions to convince him to do it, and then he finally did it. And then he would do
they were Morgans.
Yeah,
two Morgans. The first 2 Morgans he ever sold. But it was Texas Joe, so I had to buy it. I just couldn't help myself. So, and they were nice Morgans, by the way. One's toned out a little bit, whatever. I'm not worried about it. I always remember, and I'm going to diverge here for just a second. You know, I don't come up very often, but Texas Joe was very helpful to many, many people. And I've always loved your channel, by the way.
We've had some good times, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, we have.
Silverstruck.
You've helped me out quite a bit in the beginning as well. Still do.
I try my best. I try my best.
Hey, Paula. Joe was also king of the one-liners, says Paula Abrams.
Oh, yes, he was good at that. He also loved his family, his dad. And last time and I'm going to diverge here for a second. And the last time I talked to him, he couldn't talk to me because he had to go take care of his dad. And I was like, oh, no, you go take care of your family for us, my friend. We'll talk another time. I never got to talk to him again. And that saddened me.
Yeah.
You never know.
I know, man.
That's my true story.
We got a few more people in the basement, Muscle Shell. I appreciate you sharing with us.
I'm out of here.
That was
Cheers, Muscle Shell. Thank you
I
for
remember
sharing.
that auction, and I remember when Muscle Shell bought those GSAs too. That's funny. All right, we got Oregon Stackers next. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Hey, Plumber, Ken, Big Apple, everyone on the panel. Good to see you guys. First, I just want to say a big shout out to Mad Stacker on the amazing prayer to kick off this celebration of life for Texas Joe. My heart goes out to you, Plumber and Big Apple. You guys streamed with Texas Joe. I know how close you guys are with him, and I know right now he's looking down, smiling. This is an amazing thing that you guys are doing for this man. And Ken, the words that you expressed about Texas Joe, these kind of streams, you learn so much about somebody who's no longer here. You get the pictures of his family, all the stories you guys are sharing. I mean, it's amazing. He's just a great guy in the community. So I only have a couple things I'd like to say. Texas Joe, this was back in 2022, Plumber, when you first started selling Morgans, and I didn't like Morgans. I hated Morgan dollars. I hated them with the passion.
You still do.
I came across Plumber and Texas Joe in his stream, and all they're talking about is Morgans. I'm like, God dang, these guys. He sent me an email. This was back in 2022, and it says, this is July 16th of 2022. I just wanted to share a small detail with you. It's not a big detail, but I want you to know, if someone asks you, you're in the know. The only GSAs that got serialized certificates were the ones that were marked uncirculated on the holder. If they say silver dollar, they got the generic certificate, like the one to the far left in your photo. The CC in the middle says silver dollar and has a serialized certificate. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this man would watch you in the stream, and if he saw an area you needed help, he would reach out to you, email you, or try to contact you to educate you and help you. How cool is that? And that's what Texas Joe did for me. From that point forward, if he saw something or I had a coin, he'd want to see it, or he would send me an email about it, and he would educate me. And that's what I'm going to miss most about him, Plumber, is the educational aspects of Texas Joe. When you ran your auction and you have Texas Joe on one side, sometimes Big Apple's there too, but you got Texas Joe there and yourself. Texas Joe would always talk about the coin, man. Talk about the history of the coin, the mintage of it, what he thought the grade was of the coin. We're not going to be able to replace that. That's what I'm going to miss about Texas Joe, guys. Yeah. All that amazing knowledge that he had. And Ken, it was amazing for me to hear he just started coin collecting like back in 2000 or 2020, 2020. I thought he's been doing it for years.
No, he immersed himself. I educated him. I started to educate him, and then he just took off. He just took it to. That's the whole point. Is like, and I'm, dude. You guys know. I'm like, whatever. I like coins, but I like people, better. Or I like a community or that type of like, I just like a good time. Is basically, if you guys don't know that about Can, I'm Can. I like a good time. sometimes it's with coins, sometimes it's with music, sometimes it's with collectibles, but basically I'm kind of a a bit all over the place, but it's not all about coins. But so I started to kind of, and I said to Texas Joe when he was in that chat that nobody answered him in, I was like, yeah, if I don't know the answer, I'll find somebody, because I'm connected, so I'll find somebody who knows, if I don't. And so we just started that relationship and that friendship about coins that he got from his grandfather, Oregon Stacker. So he was just dipping his toes into the pool.
Yeah.
And then he just took off and he started becoming like not even a lifeguard, but like a scuba instructor, or he became like a numismatist in a short amount of time.
Really quick, another thing I just like to say is with YouTube. When I grew up, I was a DJ. I love talking to people. I've always been an open person. But you see with this YouTube, and when people get up on panel and they open up, I don't know how Texas Joe was in life, if he was always an open, outgoing person. But the reason why I got so close to him, as you guys know, he popped up on Plumber stream, but then he would pop up on streams. I was streaming a month ago, and Big Apple knows this, and I was just talking about the silver, the gold price, the Fed, rate cuts. Here comes Texas Joe out of nowhere. No one else would pop up there on the panel with me, but here comes Texas Joe. He comes up there. We're talking, we're BSing, we're talking about gold, silver, about life, And I think maybe, I don't know this, maybe YouTube brought another person out of Texas Joe. He opened up more. He would always jump more on panels, and I think that creates a special bond, can like you talked about, with someone sending a photo or getting to know somebody more personal. Texas Joe was on the streams in YouTube, and so we all feel like we were closer to him because we saw him interacting live on YouTube. It wasn't just someone down in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I appreciate that with Texas Joe, that he helps me with product knowledge, and he would pop up on my stream and just talk to folks and share whatever was going on with his day. And I'm gonna miss that about him.
He was versed. He was comfortable talking to people. He was comfortable, sharing that knowledge, and it's on his homepage. And I go back to that. It's on his homepage. It's about knowledge. It's about sharing information, sharing knowledge, and that's what that's his legacy, and that's really what we're here to all celebrate. Is he shared his knowledge in such a non-judgmental way. I know I heard that came up earlier, and he embraced so many people. He would treat the janitor the same as the cook, the same as the CEO if they were in the elevator together in the same
Absolutely.
building. He's just that kind of salt of the earth, like Mad Stacker said. He is absolutely just a beautiful man.
So I know you guys got a lot of people that want to speak. Big love and hugs to all of you out there. And Plumber, I just want to tell you, he is down smiling at you. You rock. You're amazing. And this is just an amazing thing that you were doing for this man.
Thanks, Oregon. I appreciate you sharing, man. That was good.
Yeah. God bless you all, man.
God bless, man.
Good night, Oregon. Thanks for coming up.
We lost KK, but I'm sure she'll be back in a minute. But that story is like the Joe to a T. Always willing to help. I mean, he would sit for hours before my auction.
Like that is, Plumber. Isn't that the biggest gift you can give? He's giving his time, first of all, but he's also giving his knowledge, his experience, his wisdom. He's a giver, and the giving spirit is alive and well in the world and in the coin community for sure. But the giving spirit is alive and well, because when people give their time and they give their experience and their knowledge, it's invaluable. It's the best gift of all, besides love, and he gave love.
Yeah,
of course he gave love.
He was genuine about everything he did. There was nothing really fake that I've ever seen him do. Anything that he said was his honest opinion, whether it hurt your feelings or not.
There's not a person here that would say a bad word about him because he didn't offend anybody. He didn't do anything that was malicious. He didn't have a vindictive bone in his body. Mm-hmm. He didn't look out for the worst in people. He looked for the best in people. And I think that's what really is coming through tonight, is that he counted his blessings, not his problems. He looked for the beauty in life, not the ugliness in life. and to come from the Bronx, and to come from the Bronx is not the best place in New York City. It's not the best place in the country. It's not the best place in the world. No disrespect to the people that live in the Bronx, but they know what I'm talking about. And so then he went to the country, and when I would listen to him, we would be on the phone together. He'd be on his porch, and you guys have talked to him on the phone. You'd hear the birds, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's the the cardinal, or that's the scrub jay barking at the other birds, or that's the and then he'd talk about flowers, and that's why I brought these flowers out earlier, and these are also for my mom, but lilies and like things like that. He became such a person immersed in nature as he got older, and he'd go out fishing when he wanted to clear his head, right? When things got a little too hectic at home or just in life, he would just go out fishing for a while and find himself and
take out that BB gun and go after those squirrels.
Damn squirrels.
He hated them.
But he just kind of found the beauty in things and the beauty in people. He didn't look for the nastiness, or he didn't like focus on that. That wasn't in his radar, and I just think that's a great example for all of us to kind of focus on the good things we have. It's a great starting point, and it's a great foundation to build upon.
In the beginning, when we first started doing auctions together, he brought me to your auctions, not live, because I haven't made anybody's auctions lately, but I used to come to yours all the time, and he showed me how you display these coins and talk about these coins, and like, other than Morgan's, it's hard for me to get passionate about selling something because that's just what I love. But he would point out things that you did to me, and this is how you can explain it better to people, because it's through a video, so you can't hold it in your hand, so you have to describe it differently, or explain that coin's history or mintages and stuff like that. And then we all got into that, and he would spend hours with me going over coins that I didn't know about until I was semi-comfortable with it, and making sure that I understood it, and put me in a different area. I started selling different things in my auctions because of him, and because of you too, because I watched what you did, and then I try to implement that in what I was doing, and I shit you not, hours and hours and hours he spent with me, teaching me, and I know, Big Apple, you've done the same, and he was never in a hurry to get off. Never, he's like, are we done? No, let's keep going. Show me the next one. Show me the next one. It was just so much fun learning from him.
He gave you that time, and that's the whole thing, is like, he just was so incredibly giving of his time and his knowledge and his love, and it's kind of a trifecta, because they're all being displayed right there. All of the three elements are just exemplified by him in so many different people, because he did it with me. Like, he didn't, he just, for some reason, like, but he was with me from the very beginning though too. Like, that's the thing. Like, before I started live streaming, I met him before I really started live streaming, so I wasn't like really doing, I don't think I was doing auctions when I met him. I think I started I was doing maybe some charity auctions or things like that, but then I started to kind of do the auctions. And I've only been in this whole thing since pandemic, so if anybody's just watching this, I've only really been doing anything in the coin community since pandemic. So probably like late spring, early summer of 2020 is when I started even like finding out about any of you or any of this. And so a few months after that, I think I met him in like, the summer of 2020. And then we just started becoming friends. I started live streaming. Then when I started doing auctions, he would just kind of come at me with these these statistics and stuff, and I was just like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, 70 people are watching you, and then but you average like 50 people watching you, but then with your numbers, you only have like 800 subscribers or 700 subscribers at that point or whatever, and you're going against people that have like thousands and thousands of subscribers, and they're peaking at this and that. So he's like, and basically I'm like, what are you telling me, Joe? Like cut to the chase, like basically. And he's like, what you're doing is like impressive, basically. What you're doing is, and I'm not, but it was all about like him believing in me and him believing in Plumber and him believing in Big Apple, you know, to an extent.
You can only do that so much, right? All right, we got KK. Let's let her jump in here for a second.
KK.
Then we got Stack Silver after that.
And Big Apple, again, thank you for calling me. That was so thoughtful of you, Big Apple. Not very many people do have my phone number. I'm not a phone person, but Joe and I became close before I got into the coin community. He and I had a show that was called Music 55, and he'd come in and watch me doing whatever. He knew I did overnighters and that 24-hour shifts and that. Well, the time I'm going to talk about 2 times in this. I said that I was going to do a 24-hour stream. That guy stayed with me for 24 hours. And he would even, if he's not right in the chat, he was in bed, he'd be texting me, telling me that he's there, he's watching, and he couldn't believe I was up and done, up all that time. What was I going to say? He was on my panel good 20 to 30 times, okay? If not more. He loved to be in my middle. I'm sorry, my computer goes on me. He loves to go, he would come up any time of the day or night I was on. He was very, very kind to me. And we used to call and talk about life and that. He loved to do research. He was a very big person on researching for people. What was I going to say? He came in my life when things were getting to be, I was so popular in that, and then everything else happened. But he said to me, he goes, Kathy, you are one of the real persons. You do not say something that you don't believe in that. And he loved it. And he loved to come up and sing and make funny faces and that. He just loved to give knowledge or entertain. Okay. So, well, I did write a couple things down. Let me see. He was always there for you. He always had your back on no matter what. He liked music, movies, and he loved to talk about trivia stuff and that. And this last
he loved
time,
your bingo night too.
Oh yeah, he was big. He was up on my bingos all the time, and he loved to come in and play bingo. This last time he was up on mine. I don't think he was on anybody else's. I think he was the last time being on YouTube. He was up with me, but I could be wrong on that. Alden Davis was supposed to be my co-host, and I couldn't get a hold of Alden. I'd called him like 3 or 4 times and texted him and that, and still never heard anything from him. And I know he's been real sick too. And I said, hey, Joe, can you do me a favor? I says, Thursday night, I have this music trivia game, and I says, Alden was supposed to be my co-host, and I can't get a hold of him. He was like, yeah, when is it? I says, well, I have it scheduled for the 27th of April. And he goes, well, I'll be there. I says, well, I can change it if you can't, make it that day. I mean, it's not no set time in it. Oh, no, I'll be there. And so he was so happy. And I had already made up all the questions that need to be researched. And I was doing the music part, and he did the questions. So I sent him all the questions and that. He loved it. He loved doing that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know how to clip videos, guys. Big Apple says, you just do this and do that. And I'm like, it just went, because I don't know how to edit. I've never edited. Okay, so today I've asked quite a few people to help me to do this, but everybody turns me down. But here's what I wanted to say. I got a few clips, and they might not be in order, but I think I captured him in a way that is funny, serious, and a joy to be around. So I'm gonna have to share some clips. Is that okay, Plumber?
Yeah. Yeah, if you could just keep it, a little short, because we got a couple people that want to come up, but I'll put you up.
Okay. I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I don't know how to. I clip these and that, but
Just
share. I don't know if I can share it, so that's the whole big thing about it. Well,
And we're going to do this too with
sorry, guys.
Flatline Racer's going to be putting a
You
video.
know what? I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this, so.
Okay.
yeah, yeah, KK. So whatever you want to share, remember you could just send it to me. Okay.
And we lost her. All right. Well, thanks for sharing, KK. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah. KK, if you're listening, you could just send me the emails, whatever you want to share, and I will send it out to Flatliners. He'll put it, because he's going to put it together for next week. And anybody who wants to share any sort of videos that they want to share with them and Texas Joe, feel free. Send me the copy of it, and I'll send it over to Flatliners, or you can send it over to Flatliners if you have his email anyway. But feel free, because like I said, Flatliners is taking care of the video for next week. Video.
all right, we got Stack Silvers in the house. How's it going?
What's going on, buddy?
Hello, everyone. Plumber, thanks.
Yeah.
Big Apple, good to see you. Can.
Hi, Stack Silver. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Plumber, great thing you're doing here. Just a wonderful tribute. I'll keep this short. Joe and I spoke a few times, and he was a very perceptive individual. And it turned out that he and I are about the same age, and we actually grew up in the same area before he headed out to Texas. And one of his perceptions was accents. He says, "Boy, that sounds like a familiar accent." And it turns out there was a lot of similarities in our upbringing. He actually probably knew a few people that relatives of mine. So the small world conversation came up, of course. Most of all, Joe was a very kind guy, and that goes without saying. I'm just repeating what everybody knows and what's already been said. And while I only spoke with Joe a few times, of course, seeing him on all the streams was always a pleasure. And as Oregon pointed out, he was always providing information. And it was just like you would sit back and it was an education just watching him and listening to him. And that's going to be one of the, I think, big things that we're all going to miss from Texas Joe. So I just wanted to jump in here and say thank you to all of you sharing Joe's memory, and it's a sad situation that we lost Joe so suddenly without any kind of a warning, and he's surely going to be missed. And I just wanted to thank you all for everything you've done here tonight.
Well, Stack Silver, what it does though is it brings us together, and it will. I get to meet you now. I get to meet the other people, and we get to meet each other and have this kind of this sharing of the grief, the sharing of the loss, and but also what it does is it helps us to kind of galvanize new friendships, galvanize, friendships that we've had, a little bit, tighter, and just to take pause and really count our blessings and not our problems, and just to really focus on what we have and then the hope and tomorrow. And I think that's, meeting new people like you and hearing your stories of how you were touched by them helps me to kind of get through this. I'll be honest with you. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks for sharing.
Okay. All right. Thanks for having me on. Thanks, guys.
Got it.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to do this, is because we'll find out more and more about Joe that we didn't know. And some of us that were close to him didn't know Joe pretty well, but
who would have known?
You never know how many hearts he's touched, and
he extended himself to so many people, right, Plumber? Like, who knew? I didn't know. I had no idea. I had a feeling, and it's so like reinforcing to actually see and know and hear these stories, because, man, it just shows even more. It exemplifies what a man he is.
All right, Big Apple, you've been quiet for a while. Get in here, you fugazi. I know you got some stories.
Well, I mean, I got I don't know what kind of stories I got here. I mean, I got so many. The story that I like the best is when I put my outfit on, and you made that video.
The chicken.
I wonder if I could play that.
Joe had his hat on.
Let me see if I can play that.
Is it the countdown video? Is it that one countdown?
Listen, it is such an awesome video. Plumber comes out and says, "Guys, I got a new video coming up. You guys are gonna like it." I said, "Sure, let's put it on." So he makes this video with Texas Joe with this big hat on, and I got my. I don't know.
I gotta go in the kitchen and be safe for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it on the
Plumber,
iPad.
you got it?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I'm gonna try to play it. I'll see if I can play it.
Wait! You gotta wait for
I know.
Kate
I'm gonna wait.
back. Yeah, so we're gonna play the video, and I just found it so funny because Texas Joe, you remember, he was just sitting there looking at the video, and when he comes back, we come back to this part right here that when he's like, well, we're laughing, and Joe is just not laughing because he's like, well, you made me look like the Colonel from the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy with the hat, and Big Apple is behind the mask with his chicken suit on, and it's like all of a sudden I'm Colonel with the fried chicken. It was when he said that. I mean, that was the most funny. And I've been actually trying to find the first time you played that video with that scene because that's where I've been trying to look.
Don't make me come down there.
All right, I think I got it. You want me to play it?
Yeah. Well, you got to wait for Can.
Okay.
Because then you got to play it again, and nobody wants to see that again.
Yeah.
I don't think that everybody in the chat here wants to see this.
I remember his reaction to that because, I didn't show it you or him, so I know you guys didn't know what to expect. But Joe's reaction, I had to keep myself off the screen because I was cracking up. Joe was not happy the way he was depicted in the first part.
I mean, it was funny.
No, go ahead and play it. I'm gonna watch it on my iPad. I'm gonna go
to his face.
Okay.
I gotta find that video and get his reaction too, because I get
his reaction is what.
I'll stay and watch it. Go ahead, play it now.
Go ahead, play it.
All right.
I love it. It's too funny.
Hey, I gotta start that over. Something's going. All right.
Yeah, what happened?
Right,
there we go.
Dude, pay attention.
Don't make me come down there. I'll dump your skull.
And that's pretty much it. That's.
Look at the baby. You gotta see the baby.
Yeah, Joe did love the baby.
Oh, this is the baby too.
No, I had to.
And then you see him. Look at that picture of him. He's got a shit-eating grin. Look at him. He's got a shit-eating grin right there, admiring his work.
It's the one that, Plumber, it's the first time you actually played this one video.
Yeah, I'll find that moment.
He has the hat on. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you changed it up a couple of times. You got to find that one. And
yeah, I will.
I want to try to find it before next week. So
he's like, you got me looking up here like Colonel Sanders and, Big Apple.
Yeah, and Big Apple with that whole.
That was a good laugh. Thank you. Oh, hey, Department of Newsmatics. Hey, Rocky Mountain. Oh, and B
What's
Squared,
going
man.
on?
It's great to see you as well, old friend. Oh, we love nurses, Katie Graham. We love nurses. Nurses are our friends.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to dumb the video down in order to get it to play on StreamYards. So it's probably horrible quality, but you get the point.
Yeah. That's,
Anybody else want to come up, say a few words?
Yeah.
Silver Bull, you're welcome to come up. Come on up, man.
I just got
Yeah,
another
Silver
picture.
Bull,
So
that's
Lee
right. You
Fleming.
said you wanted to pop up. Come up here, you fugazi. Huh?
Lee Fleming, if you're watching, thanks for Lee Fleming sent me a picture of himself just now. So Lee Fleming, thank you, homie.
Nice.
It looks like he's skydiving too. That was fun.
Oh, KK, you get my text?
I'll look at it right now.
Yeah,
I haven't been looking at my phone. Oh no, I didn't. Hold on one second. I'll get back to you in the kitchen.
No problem.
Oh, this was fun though. You know, it's like tears pop up every once in a while because man, we're gonna miss that guy. But hearing these stories and Joe did his job on this earth, you know. Sorry, everybody. Got a little intermission here, I guess.
That's
when I should come out with the chicken dance.
Hey, man, Apple. I'm looking at these pics, man. Rico Suave.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get down.
You gonna get back to the beach, y'all? Down with
Yeah,
the sound so sweet, y'all.
That's what we're trying to go
to. Hey, do I have permission? I'm sure I don't, but do I have permission to show one of them?
No, another time.
All right.
You can do it on yours. It's fine when I pop in.
Hey, by the way,
you're embarrassed about? You got to show it. Now you
no. Hold on, and I won't. I want to honestly give a little bit to the stacker, to the Big Apple. He is not Fugazian when it comes to giving up soda and dropping beats, but also dropping the LBs. And tonight's a special night for Big Apple Stacker, and I wanna speak. You know, when, and honestly, God, I'm not clowning on anybody right now, and I mean this in the utmost sincerity. And God bless you, Mad Stacker, because when you were saying just let you speak through me, I'm letting Texas Joe speak through me right now, because he is the Holy Ghost. He is a bit of a Holy Spirit right now, looking down on us, and we know that everything is kind of copacetic right now, and Big Apple reached a milestone today, and we need to continue that encouragement, that belief in Big Apple that Texas Joe instilled in him. And I'm saying this in the most respectful and loving way. Big Apple, if you would like to tell people your story, please. I don't want to say your words, but if not, I'll give the accomplishment that you reached today, if it's okay with you.
Just be proud of it, man. We're all here. We're all your friends, man.
The reason why I just don't like to, because of the fact that I was always talking to Texas Joe about it. So
yeah,
I guess today it literally just clicked that when it hit, I was saying to myself, and I think I was even talking to Snipey Mikey, and I was like, okay, so obviously during the pandemic, a lot of people have put on weight, and I put on weight. I was actually like 400, close to 480 pounds, guys. 480 pounds. Well, last week I hit 400 pounds. So I know when I was talking to Texas Joe, we were talking about because he would always say, "Hey, Big Apple, what's the weight loss, this and that." I'm like, and then recently my knee also just out of the blue started hurting me. So Texas Joe and I, we were just like, he was just telling me, Joe, I think I got to do surgery. I can't walk. It's so hard. And then all of a sudden, he's like, "No, dude, you're too young. You're too, you got to get." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And so it was like literally like I would like my wife would tell you like I was angry, like angry, and So I'm like, Joe, I can't wait to just get down to the weight to at least to see my, 3 something. I mean, anyway, so today was the day that I hit the 3. So which was like, what? So I got rid of my 4s. I'm in 3s now. So it's just something that I kind of just thought about Joe immediately when that happened. And then I would always now like I always call Steve looking for silver. I know like every single time because he's also one person who's always been behind me. But today like just thinking about that, and he was one person that was always interested in my weight. So and was like you could do it. So I finally got rid of my 4s, and I'm just with my 3s. So
that just shows you how real of a person he was.
Yeah,
he truly cared about you and your well-being, and I know that firsthand too because I got my own issues that
I might have shared that picture too. I think I might have. You can show it now. It's one of my old pictures. Who's frozen here? Is Can frozen? No.
No.
Oh,
No. We're listening. I'm listening to you. I'm also listening to Plumber and whatever. If
thank you all, by the way, everyone in the chat.
First of all, Big Apple, great on you, and the people in the chat have you, and Plumber Stacker. I'm still listening to you if you want to keep talking, and if you need to just kind of chill. But I know there's something that you want to say too, and I want to honor that because it's your channel, and we love you, brother.
No, it's all right. We got somebody in the basement too, so we might want to bring them up.
Okay. Yeah. I think you're the only one who can do that. So, but if you want to come back to it, Plumber, man, we're here with you, and I love you. I just want you to know. Okay.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Steve, you're live, buddy.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, I talked to Big Apple first thing this morning. Congratulations, bud. With Texas Joe, great guy. It was about a year ago. First time he came up on my channel. I don't know if I bring this on people, but the first thing he told me was "F you." I don't know if you seen that Big Apple. I know he did.
I do have it. I mean, I could show it, but it's going to be played. It's going to be part of. I can bring it up if but it's also going to be played for next week anyway. But Plumber, Plumber.
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. I was trying to be cool and act like, oh yeah. But he, we talked for a while. Then we always kept in touch, talked back and forth and stuff. One thing with Joe, no matter where he was on, I would always listen because I knew I would learn something from just listening to him. No matter what it was he was talking about, even if it was something that I don't collect. I mean, I knew I was going to learn something just by listening to what he had to say. Very knowledgeable guy. I mean, he was 100% willing to share that with anybody who wanted to listen. I think Big Apple would agree with that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Great person. Had a lot of knowledge, more than this guy beside me, Big Apple here. He was really good. I know you guys on Saturday. You guys a lot of times during Plumber's auction, I would tune in just to listen to you two talk back and forth. There was times when you guys would talk Not even about the auction. You just out of blue start talking about something. It's like, damn, these guys are just way off the auction, but here they go again. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. It was pretty cool watching you guys react towards each other and have fun. That was the main thing. You know, you had fun.
That's what it was about.
Correct. And knowledge guy, very knowledge. Great time with him. You know, we did communicate back and forth a little bit here and there, not as much as you guys did. I mean, but always listen to whatever he had to say because, like I said, you would learn something if you know, if you was willing to listen and learn from him. Other than that, I really don't have much more to say than that. I mean, great guy. He will be missed.
He definitely was. You know, um, you know, Steve. You know me that you and I we always we talk every single day. And especially even right after Weight Watchers. I always call Steve and I'm like, Steve, hey, I lost weight or whether I put up a pound or two. I always tell Steve like and Steve has always been there also. Um, but Texas Joe, Steve. I mean, I know sometimes it was even on my channel that you guys we were always talking about Morgans. And I did he not see the one that you're holding for me, Steve?
Well, hold. What's that?
The proof.
No, I don't know what the hell you're talking. Oops, sorry,
Oh,
Palm Michelle. I don't know what you're talking about.
because I remember Texas Joe. I think he told you that he's like, yeah, well, Big Apple doesn't want to show his stuff because he knows. And then, I'm like, well, I think we were on a private chat. What were we in behind the screen?
Yeah, we were behind the scene. He told me not to sell nothing to you.
Yeah, not to sell anything to me because he, because sometimes, if anyone does know StreamYards, we're here. You can once you shut down here, the four of us could continue talking. So, but you know, Texas Joe is definitely going to be missed, but he's never going to be forgotten. From a lot of
Correct.
people. You know,
Yeah, his knowledge backstage when we were talking, he would just put wisdom out like that's pretty cool to know. Yeah, I didn't know that, but and I was surprised. Like Can said, he just started doing it a few years ago.
He
would
was a
swear
sponge. He soaked it all up in that short amount of time. Honest to God, I'm not joking. Like,
yeah, if you didn't say that, I would have never known. I would have thought that he was collecting his whole life. He was
he asked me
studying
for
this his
help
whole
from the
life.
very beginning, and he had his grandfather's collection and was like, "What do I do with this? What is this?" He would, and it was funny because God bless him, like he would think he was being a little too, am I sending you too many emails? Is this annoying you? And he would kind of, and I'm like, no, I enjoy this. This is really, I like looking through like old coins and different things that are sent to me. And if I didn't know, like I told him straight up, like I'll find somebody who knows and we'll get you, some answers. But, and sometimes I would do that. I didn't know everything, of course. And so I would hook them up with somebody else and then they would start a friendship. And it just was this wonderful, he's just a wonderful person and just is an example for all of us. Sometimes we don't know what we want, and sometimes we know what we want by seeing what we don't want, and sometimes we know what we want by seeing and emulating somebody that we respect and somebody that we admire and somebody who has lived their life in a very straightforward and honest way. And when you can kind of like have people like that in your life, wow, your possibilities are endless. In general they're endless, but really when you have people like that around you in a world that wants to drag you down, and you have people that uplift you around you for free because they're kind, like.
And then you said everything there, for free. He was always willing to give knowledge out for free,
Yeah.
no matter what it was, and take the time to talk to you.
What a gift, right, Steve?
Correct.
Yep.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, what a gift.
Plumber, if you could share that in the basement, I have that. I'm just gonna play that quick little clip there.
So a lot of that stuff I'm not too sure I'm going to send in, but I'd love to, really. For the price I got it for, I can't go wrong, really, I don't think.
So they were talking about Carson Cities, by the way. GSA.
First of all, fuck you. I got that off. I got it off my chest.
Now you feel better, right?
Now I feel better. Okay.
I had a bunch of this stuff just hidden back in spots, so I just started pulling it all out. Looking at it.
I had some really, really bad thoughts about halfway through that, but I got over it. You, okay? You're good. You know that.
Well, I bought a lot of this stuff.
No, you're good. You're good. I
Stashed
see
it
what
back
you
2 years
did.
ago.
I see what you did with that. I saw what you did because you're good.
I bought a lot of those CCs probably a year and a half before the price started exploding.
Yeah.
Once they started exploding, I stopped buying them.
Yep, that's what I did.
I mean, I go there now to my coin shop, and he wants 400 plus for a regular CC
and
a GSA. I said, forget that. No way.
Right.
But anyway, you'll see next week.
Then he emailed me right after that and apologized for. Says, "Don't take me serious. I was just having fun. I was just joking." And I emailed back, "Joe, I know you was. I thought it was funny. I loved it. I fed off that. I just thought it was great." And he was really worried that he offended me. He was really concerned about it.
That's live TV, right, Steve?
Yes, that we were live. Yes.
Yeah, of course. It's like that just happens, and that was so funny. I'm glad that was captured and you shared that with us. That brought it brought a laugh to me. I know for certain. I can't speak for everyone, but I can also share with the people in the chat. They're really happy that you shared that.
That was the first time I actually talked with him live. I can tell Big Apple knows the thing.
What was his beef? Why was he pissed at you? So that's the $1 million question. Why was he so aggro?
I mean, you would have had to see it a little earlier because Steve was showing his GSAs, guys, and Steve was buying these bad boys back then.
Texas Show was a little bit like, you got great Morgan.
Back then these GSAs were they were cheap. I mean, when they first came out, you probably buying them for $50. Snipey Mikey has his first one back in the 70s, and because I spoke to him, but back then, they were cheap. They were $150, right, Steve? I mean, you could $150, $200. A GSA now, you could pick up. You could probably pick it up for $325. You could probably pick it up $350, $375. It depends who you're picking it up from, or sometimes they just go up and down. But the graded ones obviously are a little different.
It's such a great welcome, right, Steve?
It put an impression in my head. I'm gonna get along with this guy really good.
G'day, Spud Lee.
Yeah. It was it was like, this is pretty cool. I like this guy. Because the thing about him, he didn't hold back. He's like, let it go, Joe. Yeah. But he was really worried that he offended me when he said that. Like I said, right afterwards, he was emailing me.
And good on you for having thick skin, Steve. It's like it. I don't know. People's and you didn't know him from Adam, did you?
Well, I talked to him off and on in the chat to things, listen to him,
But I mean, you weren't thinking he was really being a jerk to you,
no,
did you?
No, not at all. You could tell by his reaction, his face reaction. Okay, he's joking around. He's having fun, But he probably felt like, well, I've never talked to this guy before, so
Let me try
in
to.
person,
But he,
yeah.
that's fun though too, to try to be a little bit of a provocateur, and there's something kind of fun in that, as we all know, to just kind of like, you know, push buttons
But, you know,
in a
yeah.
playful way.
But I can honestly say he was the first one that told me that live. Other people have since then, but he's the first one that's ever told me that live. So
And
I feel
it's
like an honor
documented
right
here
there.
now on Plumber Stacker's channel.
Yeah,
it's documented forever and ever until
You got evidence now.
Now everyone knows the truth about me, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, we got Jeff Davis in the basement.
All right, I'll go ahead and step down. Thank you. You guys
Thanks
are doing
for
a great
sharing,
thing.
Steve. That was awesome. Thank you.
That was
You're
fun.
welcome.
Thank you for bringing
Okay,
some
everyone.
smiles.
Bless all of you guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
What's up, Jeff?
Hey guys.
Much needed laughter.
Well,
Hi, Jeff.
You guys know I'm pretty new into the coin community, about a year and a half. And my seeing Texas Joe was mainly on your channel, Plumber, during your auctions. And I think this tribute that you guys are doing is absolutely wonderful. I wish Steve would have stayed on just a little bit longer.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
But I wanted to say this, that obviously I miss knowing a wonderful, wonderful man, and wished I could have met him and interacted with him like I have with you guys. And I think one of the greatest tributes that you three and Steve, Mad Stacker, and so many others in this community is you guys are a great tribute, the way you handle yourselves and the way you treat this community. Lola and I were welcomed with open arms by you. The very first person that reached out to us was Can. And we were watching one of his videos, and he was showing downtown Warren, Pennsylvania, near where his parents live. And I recognized it. It's 30 miles from where I grew up, and immediately got on the leaving a comment and told him I was from that area and knew where he was and all that stuff, and left him my email. And it was probably 10 minutes, and I get an email back from Can really telling me, glad to meet you. Glad you know the area. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. And that was just so welcoming. Big Apple. When I first came on the Big Apple streams during the day last summer with Oregon, Lola and I are very new to the community. We're not known. We're an unknown quantity. Immediately, Big Apple's selling quite a few Morgans, which I bought quite a few. And he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance very quickly to prove myself that I was a serious buyer and an honest person. But Big Apple was right there doing that. Plumber, you did the same. Was on several of your streams on Saturday evening when Texas Joe was on. I interacted with him in the chat and with you. And you did the same thing. Welcomed us with open arms, gave us an opportunity to prove ourselves that we were serious buyers. And Steve did the same thing. I hope he's still on here and hears that. Mad Stacker has, so many of you, Coin Sniper Chris. And I just want to say that the way you three and several others that I've mentioned, the way you handle yourselves, what you're doing tonight, how you live your lives, and how you shared your lives with us is a true tribute to Texas Joe. And I wished I had a Texas Joe story, but I've got stories about you guys, and I'm proud to be part of this community today. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come up.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Nice, Jeff. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Jeff.
That
I
means
got
a
a
lot.
fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Yeah.
Tell people quickly before you head off why I said that, because
Well, I'm a collector of a lot of things, and Big Apple knows I just love history. And I'm quite a bit older than all you guys. And I'm 69 years old. And I've been collecting stuff since I was a kid, and I love history. And one of the things that I've accumulated through the years was a cowbell collection. Now, when I was younger, I grew up in a rural area. I'm a country boy at heart. I can remember cowbells actually being on cows in the pasture, certain cows. And Can came up the other night, a couple weeks ago, and he had this little itty bitty miniature cowbell. And
sterling silver.
Yeah, sterling silver. And it's now with one of my many cherished possessions. But he said he was going to give it away. And I mentioned in the stream that I had a cowbell collection. And obviously, Can gave me the sterling silver cowbell. So I did send him a picture of some of the cowbells I have in my collection. So
I wonder if I can find them.
That's awesome.
If I can find them, Jeff, after you
share them.
I will share them, absolutely, because it was absolutely impressive. Actually, maybe hold on one second. Jeff Davis. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, here. If you can show me really quickly, Plumber, please. I'll show everybody what he's talking about. And this is Jeff Davis's cowbell collection. He's got a heart there on the left, and then you can see in the upper rafters, right before the rafters, he's got these cowbells. He's got a, horseshoe upside, the right side up, so that it doesn't leak out. It's good luck. Oh, that's a better picture. There we go. So it's got to be somewhere there. And then here's Jeff. Hey, hello again, buddy. Nice hat. He's wearing a Texas Joe hat. Check him out.
Yeah, that's another hat over there.
Right on, Jeff.
Thank you, Can.
I love you, brother. You know that. I love you and Lola.
That's awesome.
We go way back. You're one of the OGs, Jeff.
Yeah, you guys, very definitely, the way you handle yourselves, live your lives, share your lives with us, you are a true tribute to Joe himself. And you can just tell from the stories told how much Joe affected you guys and how it has made you much better people. And I feel I'm becoming a better person in knowing and interacting with you guys, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, and I'll get out of here and talk to you all later. Thanks.
Take care, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
See you, Jeff. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, I think, he's right. Joe rubbed off on all of us, I think.
Man, more people than we. This was what we were all looking forward to. The three of us, we were in the back room talking about. Really, we wanted to hear everyone else's stories and what he meant to everyone else. And wow, we're finding out more than we had imagined, I'm sure.
710, how are you?
There's new people. Yeah, hi Jim Cope. Hi. There's new people coming.
Yeah, there's a lot. Hey, Jack. Jack is in the house. Jack, knowing what's going on. Stacktown. Sorry, Stacktown. Herman, what's going on? I'm sorry.
What a night. Hey, Patriotic Stacker. How do I get on this? There's a. If you know anything about Texas Joe and you want to share, Patriotic. There's a link.
Yeah.
He'd love to talk
Yeah.
about Texas Joe. Yeah, come on up. There's a link. Coin Crew, I'm glad that you're enjoying the stories too. It's great to see you.
Wine Country Stacker, you can come up.
Thanks, Gwen Crew. Wine Country, what's going on, buddy?
It's definitely healing for us all. And if you know, if there's nobody in the chat really quickly, I want to speak on one thing. And I'm a mental health practitioner. I am actually, and I don't, you know, put it in quotes. I'm a mental health practitioner, and there are 5 stages of grief, and I want to just touch on this for everyone, whether you know knew Texas Joe or not. But anytime you suffer loss, there are 5 stages of grief, and they are not in any order: depression, anger, denial. I don't believe this is happening. It's not true. Bargaining. Why isn't this somebody else who is such an awful person? Why does it have to be my friend? Why is it this person? And then acceptance. So there's 5 different stages of grief. And when you lose someone, you bounce back and forth between all of them. At first, it's usually denial. For me, it's always been denial. I don't believe it. Like when I get that text from somebody, I don't believe it. It's not real. This isn't happening. Well, that's denial. There's also, it's not in any order again, but there's also grief, which is, well, the stage of grief. But when you think of grief, you think of like sadness and depression. So depression is the other one. Then there's bargaining. I wish it was somebody else and not that person. Then there's acceptance, which is the final one, but the other one is anger, and you're just angry. You're just mad. You're mad that the whole thing happened. And if you understand that all 5 of those things are normal, and all 5 of those things will happen to all of us and are probably happening to all of us, but if you also take it forward in your life and you understand that these things will happen no matter who you lose, whether it's a dog, a cat, a boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, or a loved one, you know, any type of loss suffers grief, and grief has 5 stages. The final one is acceptance. And I just want to share that with everyone because it's important to understand that you'll bounce back and forth, and time is the biggest healer of all. And it's hard to understand that. It's hard to swallow that. And trust me, I've been suffering. It's been hard. This one hurts really, really deeply. But I'd rather know somebody like Texas Joe and love really deeply and really just understand somebody and love that person wholly than not, because I'm afraid of how much it'll hurt when I lose them. You know, I'd rather take that chance and love somebody wholly, you know, than be afraid to, because I'm afraid it'll hurt when I lose them. And it's different for everybody. I get it. But if we can kind of have this like understanding and this open, like talk about it, it helps everybody. And trust me, after Thursday night, when I did it, it helped me. And I think after tonight, it'll help all of us to just move on and be, you know, it's okay to be happy again, you know, and Joe would want us to be happy, you know, and that's just the way it is.
I think Joe would appreciate what we're doing tonight too, because, well, he wouldn't, because Joe doesn't like to do his own horn for one, and you know, but it brings us all closer together, and especially the ones that knew Joe like us, you know, for us to get to share stories and what he meant to us. I think that, you know, that was his point. You know, that was his point in life, to make people happier, help him out where he could, and just be a real friend.
What a blessing. What a blessing he is.
Excuse me.
what an absolute blessing he is that we all just have this like experience with him, no matter what it is, you know, on some level, even if it's an adjacent, right? If you didn't know him directly and it's kind of a, you know, but you're just here and you're hearing us tell our stories, and you're hearing us kind of, you know, share and communicate, you know, with each other about, you know, how he influenced us and impacted us. I think that other people, obviously, we see it, like it's palpable to the people in the chat that didn't know him or are just coming in to lend a hand of support, that they somehow know him now, that they know that's the man that Texas Joe was, that he just was kind and very giving with his knowledge and with his eye and with his efforts. And it'll help us all to be more beautiful people. It will help us all to be more beautiful people because we knew Texas Joe.
Yeah, Jim, if you want to come up too, I know you've had a few chats with Joe. Anybody, you guys are, everybody's welcome. Everybody. You can be sharing our Texas Joe experience.
This is an awesome night, truly, and I feel so much better, like, about everything than I have since the day that I got that message from his wife. And I just want to be honest with you. Like, I really feel better than I have this whole time that I've known the news. So thank you, everyone, and Plumber.
Thank you too. You guys are
especially.
Yeah,
I know what you meant to Joe. Ken, we, you know, like he thought highly of you, and same with you, Big Apple, and others that have come up. Joe and I shared a lot. So thank you.
You know, one thing I enjoy, it's like there's probably a lot of people in the stream, you know, in the chat that actually don't stream, and if to have those people that, like, you know, like, for instance, like you said, Jeff Davis, like he might have seen, you know, Texas Joe on the channel. I mean, you talk about a gentleman, he just doesn't stream, but for him to know Texas Joe, to hear him, and, you know, and to come up and to speak about Texas Joe and everybody else here, it means a lot, you know, and I think Texas Joe would actually really appreciate, you know, if he was here, to know that people that don't stream come up and just talk about, you know, because it's just something that's, you know, real, you know, definitely, for sure.
There you go,
know,
patriotic.
Huh?
No, go ahead. I was just posting a link.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so if you guys really don't stream, I mean, come up if you have, if you know that Texas Joe has, you know, inspired you in any way, and come on up. You know, don't be scared to, you know, just share your thoughts, and, you know, you can just do it in 2 minutes. You could do it in, you know, 5 minutes. It's fine, you know, but you know, come up. You don't have to be scared to pop up, you know.
All right,
and I know a lot of people don't like to pop up. They're like, oh, I don't want to pop up. I got to show my face, or I got to show. And like I tell anybody, you need an emoji or something, or just let me know. Oh, I don't have the other emoji up.
Nah, get out of here. Pedro, you have a great night. Thanks for sharing with us, man. I know you've been in the chat all night, so I appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else does. Patriotic Stacker is in the basement. We're going to bring him up real quick, and I'm going to turn my phone on and listen, and I'm going to grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Patriotic? How you doing, man?
Apple.
What's going on?
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I heard the news. You know, I think I seen it on Instagram or something. But I've been on YouTube for about 2 years, and I remember my first auction. I came across Plumber Stacker, and I seen you, Big Apple, and Texas Joe on the auction, and I thought it was great. You guys going back and forth, throwing jokes and everything. And you didn't know what you were going to talk about. There was always something different coming up. And I remember we started talking about movies, and Texas Joe would do these impersonations, especially Marlon Brando. Like, he nailed Marlon Brando in The Godfather. And I always thought it was great. And from there on out, every time I went on an auction, I called him Marlon. And he knew who I was talking about. He started going off with the Marlon Brando stuff. And it wasn't just that. He could do all types of movies. Guy was great. And then after that, pretty much, we've talked back and forth via email. And, whenever I had a question about numismatic coins, Morgans, grades, he would always help me out. And, I'd email him, and within like 5-10 minutes, he'd send an email back. He was a great guy. And it's a shame. But you know what? He's in a better place.
Yeah, he is.
And this is great what you guys are doing here. It's really nice. But,
thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. And congratulations on your milestone there, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's been a struggle, but now I'm a little happy to get down, and like I said, I'm just now looking to I got to head to my twos, but that's going to be a little bit, but I'll get there.
You'll get there, man. And you know what?
Yeah.
Every pound you lose, you add a couple months to your life, and before you know, you added multiple years to your life,
I know.
My buddy, and also in the community, you guys know Triple P. He was overweight, and he's down. He's probably weighs as much as me now. Just by eating healthy and taking walks. Not even running, not even like major workout, just walks, eating healthy. You'll be surprised how much you can lose.
Yeah,
but
you can lose a lot of weight just and also just mainly eating right. The main thing is a lot of I'm more of that bread eater. I love bread, like pizza, chicken cutlet, parmesan. Forget about it. You give me any of that, we're just gonna have a feast. And
oh yeah,
but,
we're both Italian.
Yeah.
So the
well,
family, man, it's always a feast. There's no regular
there
Sunday
you go. So I don't need to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm Italian too.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Patriarch Stacker. Good to see you, buddy.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. I know the feeling